Hey, what is up, my people? Pastor Bill here. Have you ever had to figure out who in the family is responsible for taking care of grandma? Well, if you drive down South D Street in South Tacoma, you'll pass a little house that has held one woman's entire lifetime of love, sacrifice, and quiet strength. Linda and her husband Rod moved into their house 56 years ago. They raised 3 girls in it, 1 bathroom, narrow hallways, but Linda made it a place where everyone felt cared for. She was always the one who showed up, steady, dependable, the kind of person whose presence makes a house feel like a home. A year and a half ago, Rod, the love of her life, passed away. 56 years of marriage. It would have been 58 this year. And today, Linda has been bedridden for the past 4 years. Her world is the 4 corners of her living room. But she's far from alone. Her family circles her now, the way she spent decades circling them, taking shifts, checking in, making sure she's never without company. And here's the thing. Linda can't get out of bed, but every single week she lifts up our entire church family through her prayers. And when she prays, there's the tenderness that brings tears, but a fire that reminds you heaven is listening. Her voice may be soft, but her prayers shake the walls. That little house on D Street is small, but the legacy that's come out of it, it's huge. You know, every family is a little different, but the tension is the same in that situation. Who makes the calls? Who visits? Who pays, right? Who's too busy, right? Who's secretly relieved somebody else stepped up first? Because often our default is to have someone else be responsible, right? Isn't that what the system's for? Isn't that what welfare is for, right? The church, maybe the church will handle it, or one of our other kids will handle it. Often it's anything but, I'll handle it. I'll be the one. Now, Paul saw this exact tension in the early church. Families quietly quitting, letting the church pick up a tab that was actually theirs to deal with. So in 1 Timothy chapter 5, he writes the most practical, unglamorous chapter in the whole letter. Because the family that doesn't practice care, is that really a family? Here's what Paul wrote to Timothy. He said this, "Never speak harshly to an older man, but appeal to him respectfully as you would your own father. Talk to younger men as you would your own brothers. Treat older women as you would your mother, and treat younger women with all purity as you would your own sisters." So, Paul tells Timothy to treat the church like family. Older men like fathers, younger men like brothers, older women like your mother, right? Younger women like with all purity. Yeah, they're not just members in your church. They're not just volunteers for your organization. No, they're family. Then he gets specific. He says this, "Take care of any widow who has no one else to care for her. But if she has children or grandchildren, their first responsibility is to show godliness at home and repay their parents by taking care of them. This is something that pleases God." Yeah, so take care of widows who have no one. But if she has children or grandchildren, their job is to repay their parents first. And Paul says, this is something that genuinely pleases God. Yeah, it puts a smile on his face. Now, he uses a specific Greek word 3 times in this chapter. The word in Greek is ontos. Ontos. It means genuinely or truly, a true widow, an ontos widow, a true widow isn't just a woman without a husband. She's a woman whose whole life shows she actually has been depending on God. Now that's Linda, okay, bedridden, widowed, yet every week interceding for our church family, like it's her job, because in a sense, it is. Then Paul goes further. He says this, "Give these instructions to the church so that no one will be open to criticism. But those who won't care for their relatives, especially those in their own household, have denied the true faith. Such people are worse than unbelievers." Yeah, those who won't care for their own relatives have denied the faith, he says, worse than unbelievers. Those are strong words. Why is this? You see, because the gospel is about a God who took on the cost of caring for us when we couldn't care for ourselves. And if that gospel is really in you, it shows up as sacrificial care for the people closest to you. Then he gives us similar honor and accountability instructions for church leaders. He says, pay them well, protect them from false accusation, but don't let real sin hide behind a title. So whether it's widows, elders, older, younger, he says, just treat them like family. No favorites, just family. So what does this all mean for us today? Here's the move this week. Name one person in your family, or it could be in your church family, who needs care that God has put on your heart. Then do one concrete thing. Make the call, make the visit, pay the bill, bring the meal, send the text, whatever it is. Okay, or maybe for you it's a coworker who's been carrying something alone that you've noticed and you ignored up to this point. Maybe it's a neighbor, someone, maybe they're older, maybe they're newly widowed, who could use 5 minutes of your time. Maybe it's saying a specific thank you to a pastor or leader who's poured into your life. So whatever that one concrete step is, take it this week. Because here's the truth. Here at Centerpoint's not just a building. We're not just a weekly service. We're a family, adopted by grace, learning to treat each other like fathers, brothers, mothers, sisters. And that little house on D Street, yeah, that's what this chapter looks like with skin on. Family that shows up. A woman who prays like heaven is listening. That's not just a nice story. That's the target. That's the gospel lived out. So this week, let's actually be that family. Not in theory, okay, but for one real person in one real way. And we'll see you next time. And why not join us at Centerpoint for worship and encouragement this weekend? It all starts this Sunday at 10 a.m. You can join us on site at our campus in beautiful South Tacoma, or if you're out of town, join us online at our Centerpoint Facebook page. Either way, it'll be a great time together. See you then.